Okay, so here we have a cup of coffee with a mean of 77.6 and a standard deviation of 0.4. Find the probability of overflow in 8-ounce cup. So let's go do the distribution. 7.6, my standard deviation is 0.4. Here is 8 ounces, and here's an overflow cup. So find the probability that ounces is greater than 8 is equal to. So my z-score math is going to be 8 minus 7.6 divided by 0.4, which is 1. So my answer is going to be 15. Is it 1587 for 1? Nope. Where is it going to be? 1587. Remember, you have to subtract it from 1 because we shade it to the right. Okay, estimate the probability will not overflow a 8-ounce cup. So that's going to be 1 minus 0.1587. And so what's that going to be? 84 something? So that's going to be 0.8413. Okay, I guess I should do the math for that. My mean is 7.6. My standard deviation is 0.4. Here is 8. And the probability that ounces is less than 8 is equal to 0.813. My z-score math is going to be 8 minus 7.6 divided by 0.4, which is 1. Okay, the machine has just loaded with 850 cups. How many of these do you expect will overflow when reserved? Okay, so let's talk about this. If I was to give you 60 dice, and I asked you to roll, everybody to roll the dice, how many dice do you think would end up with a 1, with the number 1? Well, the probability of getting a 1 is 1 out of 6, and we have 60 dice, so you multiply that by 60 and you get 10. So I think a lot of you would say 10. Well, it's the same thing here. It's n times the probability. So it's going to be 850 times the probability of not overflowing. Oh wait, it says how many of these do you expect will? So the probability of overflowing. So the probability of overflowing. So it's 850 times 0.1587, and I get 134.90 cups. Okay, now let's go to do problem number 10. It says, given that 95% of the data was 14 and 28, find the mean and standard deviation. So we don't know what the standard deviation is, mean is, and we don't know what the standard deviation is. But we do know that 2 standard deviation is 95%, right? And that's going to be 14 and 28. So 28 minus 14 is 14. And so we know that we have 4 standard deviations is equal to 14. Divide both sides by 4, and I get 1 standard deviation is going to be 7 over 2, which is 3.5. Okay, so I know my standard deviation is 3.5. And I don't know what my units are. And then my mean, so I'm going to add 14 to find my mean. So it's going to be 14 plus 28 divided by 2. They wouldn't let me do that, did you? I don't know if you can see that. 14 plus 28 divided by 2, and I get 21. So my mean is 21, and my standard deviation is 3.5. Okay, I'm hoping you find those to be easy. Okay, here we have a mean of chicks. So the mean is 21 days and the standard deviation of 1. And they want us to find IQR. Well, remember that IQR is simply Q3 minus Q1, which is 75% minus 25%. All right, so if I was to go find 75%, that's 1.67, and therefore negative 25% has a z-score of 1.67. Now, I need to go see if that's correct, because I am doing this by memory. So negative 1.67, no, is it 67? Okay, so I got that wrong. Excuse me. It's 67 and negative 67. Come on, pen. 67 and negative 0.67. Okay. So my z for 75% is going to be x minus 21 over 1 is equal to 0.67. And my z for 25% is going to be y minus 21 over 1 is negative 0.67. So this x is equal to 21.67. And this is going to be 21 minus 0.67, which is 20.33. 20.33. So my IQR is going to be 20.33 to 21.67 days. Okay, you need to know how to do that. Remember on the walk around I asked you about Q3. Maybe this time on the test I'll ask you about Q1. Be prepared.